Hey everyone, Pupsker here. So I wanted to talk about Necramechs today, as Necramechs are slightly ridiculously overpowered, and I feel with the upcoming new war, a lot of people are going to be running and wanting Necramechs way more, as it looks like Cetus is about to just burn and the plains of eidolons are going to have quite the chaotic time. If you didn't know, in Warframe, there are big-ass mechs. That's right, this is my Voidrig Necramech. Has a skin on it, but there are mechs. Another reason to unlock the Voidrig Necramech, and just mechs in general, is the arc gun, the Mossalon. It is ridiculously strong, does a ton of damage. This is my current build on it, and I probably won't bother swapping this out anytime soon, as it is a completely done build. So this is my build. Damage go swoosh. Look at the charge shot. It does an insane amount of damage. The regular shot, really strong, decent enough status, decent enough crit. It's a great arc gun. And then you have the Voidrigs. They can take 5 forma, get up to rank 40, and they have 12 mod slots. They are just tanky Power Ranger mechs, okay? Like, they're Transformers. What else do you need to know? They are exactly what they are. Transformers go burr. So you just essentially jump into this big-ass mech. They are really strong, and they destroy everything. I've modded my mech pretty much just to have whatever I want on it. Not really too much for abilities, but hey, I just don't want my Necramech to die too much. I don't even have all of the mods or anything, because I'm pretty lazy and just can't be fucked to ever farm all of them, because it takes a lot of time to farm up everything. But that's not the only mech. You also have Bone Widow. Oh dear, okay. Also can get up to level 40. Has, a similar build probably. Bone Widow is more of a melee-focused tank, where the Voidrig Necramech is more of a long-range focus nuke, as the Voidrig Necramech has a long-range weapon, and, the Mossalon, they come with either the Bone Rig or Bone Widow, or Voidrig or Bone Widow, but Bone Widow has the Iron Bride, which is a big-ass sword. I'm not fully done with it yet, still building it, but it also does pretty good damage. Doesn't have fuck all for status, but as you can see, can crit like a motherfucker, and honestly, dear God, you would not want to meet this boyo in the back alley late at night, because you were going to die. So yeah, 100% a crit melee. Insane. I have magnetic on it, don't worry about it, okay? Clearly the best weapon ever. Let me swap over to the Voidrig so I can show you the Necramechs. This is an insanely strong AoE pretty much ability. This one works off his 4th ability, and just look at that. Jesus. 187k damage off building this. And it has, with my build, and this is I think my final build for a while, 110% status, 100% crit, 5.4 times crit multiplier. The Necramechs, completely broken, okay? So, you might want to know, how do you actually get the Necramechs and the Voidrig, well, the Voidrig and the non-Voidrig Bone Widow? That would be down here on the Necralisk, no shock there. I've made videos talking about it before, gone over them before, etc, etc. But it's fairly simple, surprisingly. You just, quite simply, fast travel to Mother. And how you do the missions to obtain them is, right, you just run bounties. You just run isolation vaults, drops a bunch of items, the spores fix, just all of the good stuff. But this is what you're looking for. These are, and damaged Necramech receivers. These are like the standing item, of course. And then you need to have operator mode unlocked. You go into fast travel, you run over to Lloyd, and bada bing bada boom, browse the wares, and that's where you buy your beautiful Voidrig. Naturally, I have them mastered. They are both great. And yeah, oh, I can actually buy an Iaton sculpture. No, I already own one, okay. But all in all, the Necramech and just Bone Widow are really good. If I recall correctly, Bone Widow, using her melee form, is very good running things like Orphix Venom, And all in all, it just does a lot of damage. So whenever we will one day be able to just bring around Void Rig, Necramech, and Bone Widow just to whatever mission we want, we'll probably end up just slaying all of the enemies when we do that. Again, with the new war coming in about, I think, probably estimated 3 months, 3.5 months or so, we'll probably be seeing a lot more people using Void Rig mechs and Bone Widow, especially in the open world on Plains of Eidolon, assuming they might change around Plains of Eidolon for the new war, purely because based off the cinematic we've seen, it looks like Plains of Eidolon and Cetus is going to be like pure hell, Armageddon. It's gonna go crazy. So I'm assuming we're gonna have some phase shifting type things, and we'll just be seeing a lot more Necramechs because they do good damage. They absolutely destroy single target enemies. They absolutely destroy groups of enemies, and they're just good for every occasion. You can use them on so many of the open world bosses to just trivialize a lot of the bosses. So Void Rig, Bone Widow, 10 out of 10. But mainly I would always run Void Rig. I don't really care for Bone Widow's melee form because you don't really need it unless you're specifically doing Orphix Venom, or unless you just like it, right? I'm not a huge Bone Widow simp, right? I don't stan the hell out of Bone Widow's kit. I think it's okay, mostly because she can heal, right? It's very useful, whereas the Void Rig mech, right, can't heal. The Void Rig Necramech can only get armor and defend against itself, well, enemies. But no, the Bone Widow mech can 100% heal, has melee, can pull enemies into the middle of her, and all in all, just pretty cool. Can grab and like throw them. 10 out of 10 would recommend. But Bone Widow is like a paladin, I'd say, esque mech, seeing how she also has her shield and sword. Pretty cool mech all in all. I almost call it a Warframe, god. Whereas your boy, okay, your main man, the Void Rig Necramech, is just pure DPS damage tank. Okay, tank in the sense that it's gonna shoot off artillery and blow you up if it possibly can, because it has abilities to slow the enemy, has abilities to gain some armor, has abilities, yeah, it has a useless ability, I would say, to just throw bombs around it, and then it has its stupidly overpowered Arbequex. So I think everybody should probably get on the Necramech grind if you haven't, especially in preparation of the new war now, because damage is good. Open world damages especially, and you might be fighting a lot of sentience, and honestly it might be fun fighting Void Rigs and sentience and Bone Widow all together, because who knows. I'm hoping there might be some new, definitely hoping there might be some new bosses coming along with the new war that we'll be able to farm, and I'm also hoping that we'll be able to use our mechs on said boss. Kind of like how you can use your mech on Exploiter Orb, you can use your mech on Profit Taker, all of that. So I think it's all in all a good idea to get farming. The damage is high, the utility is high, tankiness is high, everything's good. So get farming and you'll probably have a good time. So thank you. Cheers.